Well, we're now going to drop in on a discussion from two real experts. We've got Thales Resende, UNESCO's coordinator of World Heritage Centre activities in Central Africa, and Dr. Emma Stokes, regional director for the World Conservation Society in Central Africa. And we're going to learn about the role that World Heritage Convention and these sites play in conserving some of the most iconic species. The chimpanzees, the gorillas, the elephants, who make their home in the Congo Basin, one of the world's most important biodiversity spots. And they're going to come up in their very short agora with some really striking facts and figures. But before I hand over to them, let's go on a journey to the Congo Basin and see some of those amazing flagship species in this video.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Claire, for this introduction. My name is Thales Carvalho Resende, and I work at the UNESCO World Heritage Center. And today, I'm glad to share the floor with one of the most renowned experts of wildlife in Central Africa, Emma Stokes. Please, Emma, could you introduce yourself? Sorry, Emma, could you unmute your mic? Okay. So while my colleague is having some issues, some IT issues, I'll just introduce ourselves a bit into the topic of today, which is the Congo Basin, the forests of the Congo Basin. So spanning over 1.5 million square kilometers, roughly the size of 1/3 of the EU, the Congo Basin is home to the largest tropical forest in the world after the Amazon. These forests extend over 6 countries: Cameroon, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. They are home to more than 30 million people and 150 different ethnic groups. More than 80 million people depend on these forests for their survival. And they play a key role in climate regulation and carbon sequestration. Just to give you a figure, they act as a carbon sink equivalent to about 3 years of global emissions from fossil fuels, or 20 years of US emissions from fossil fuels. And they are home to an extremely important biodiversity, and the majority of the less forest elephants, lowland gorillas, and chimpanzees of Central Africa. And I guess Emma had a question about this. So indeed, if the colleagues could just put the first question of the poll so that the audience can start answering and participating. So there we go. How many elephants, gorillas, and chimpanzees have been estimated in the Congo Basin? Well, here we have the 4 different answers, But Emma, could you please tell us something about how this data was collected?
My apologies, I can't hear any sound from the session. Thales, please go ahead.
Okay. So, well, what we have seen is that over these past years, there has been a decreasing trend of the number of elephants, gorillas, and chimpanzees. However, the good news is that thanks to efforts, anti-poaching efforts, the numbers are starting to, let's say, stabilize a little bit more. And in fact, just a couple of days ago, we had some very good news coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo, in which the number of a species of gorillas, a specific species of gorillas, the Gruer gorillas, was actually much higher than what we were expecting. So the trend, there's a decreasing trend indeed, but which is stabilizing and with some good news from time to time. I will just pass to the second question now that I would like to ask to the audience, which is, if the colleagues could please put it on the screen, how many World Heritage Sites are there in the Congo Basin, in the forests of the Congo Basin? 5, 7, 9, or 11? Well, I guess that to answer this question, we should first say what is a World Heritage Site. So a World Heritage Site is the designation for places on Earth that are of outstanding universal value to humanity. And as such, they have been inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List to be protected for future generations. These sites can be cultural, natural, or mixed. There are currently more than 1,000 sites inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List, out of which more than 250 are natural. And the forests of the Congo Basin are home to some of these. The Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the CAWHFI National Park, also in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Salonga National Park, the Ja Fauna Reserve, the Okapi Wildlife Reserve, the ecosystem and relic cultural landscape of Lope Okanda, which is the first mixed site in the region, and the Sanga Trinational, which is the first site that spans over 3 different countries in the region. Well, so this is the proof that the extremely important biodiversity of these forests has already been recognized. However, there are many other sites in these forests that have a potential to be inscribed on the UNESCO's World Heritage List. Indeed, thanks to the support of an UNESCO initiative, which is the Central Africa World Heritage Forest Initiative, CAWHFI, funded by the European Union, 2 new sites have submitted nomination files, which is the Invindo National Park in Gabon and the Ozala Kokua in Congo. But it's not about only inscribing sites on a list. Indeed, these sites are continuously monitored by mechanisms set under the World Heritage Convention. And we have seen that these sites are threatened by serious factors. And one of them is poaching. And here comes the question. A single poacher has killed more than 500 elephants in the Sanga Trinational World Heritage Site. What happened? Well, I guess we will just go through the end. And the answer for this one is that he was sentenced to 30 years of jail. So this means that supporting anti-poaching patrol efforts is key, and making sure that the legal framework is also available for taking afterwards. But what we have seen is that anti-poaching patrolling needs to be extended beyond protected areas as most of the threats are actually coming from outside the protected areas. No? Also, what is instrumental here, and I'll finish the session with this, is to involve local communities in the protection of these forests, because no one knows better how to protect them. In this regard, thank you very much for your attention. I thanks very much Emma. Unfortunately,
my apologies, Talis.
Okay, so well, I guess perhaps you can just say a few words before we.
Yeah, I'll say a few words. Sorry, I don't know what happened with the technology. Just on your last point on the dismantling of criminal networks in and around World Heritage sites, I want to echo what you said about that, and it covers the full range of arrests, legal support, and judiciary support. That landmark case that we asked the question on was significant. It's the first ever time we've tried an elephant poacher in the criminal courts, which enabled us to apply that very significant sentence to act as a very strong deterrent. So I'm pleased to be able to at least say a few words on that at the end. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much, Talis, and of course, Emma, for your patience, the joy of the virtual and hybrid world. But I could see, Emma, that you were listening with great attention to what Talis was saying, as was I. So you can really see how important the Congo Basin is with all of those World Heritage sites. That wonderful definition of outstanding value to humanity and for the protection for future generations. And there's 1,000 of those, and 250 of them are natural. And there's going to be 2 more added, if I understood correctly. But the numbers for those iconic species, of course, are going down or stabilizing. And why are they stabilizing? It is because the communities are getting involved. They are the custodians, they are the guardians, and they're involved in looking after them, or perhaps even becoming members of the eco patrols. And I think that was really good news at the end, as Emma was saying, how difficult it is to catch these poachers, but actually get a court to come up with a sentence of 30 years of jail. Let's hope that that is a good legal precedent that can be set for many other people who poach these amazing species. So thank you for listening, and we're now going to have a 10-minute break. In that break, please do go on the platform and look at some of the virtual exhibitions or just network. We'll be back in 10 minutes.